What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem concept art. Yes, I did create my own turtle logo for these turtle videos, because I've done so many, I think I decided and I needed to make one. So we have different options for Splinter here, and I don't like this. This reminds me of like the Disney rats, like some of the rats. It looks like they've been taken out of the early Disney movies, of like the old Butch rat. I don't like it. It looks too Disney for me. I don't think it would have fit with the film that well. I don't know, it just looks off, and it doesn't look like Splinter. It looks like something more out of Disney, if Disney made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But here is Donatello, and this is a very early stage of Donatello. With these sort of concept arts, they do take a lot of consideration into head shape. If you do look at the head shape, there is quite difference is to them, with some being pear-shaped, some being melon-shaped, some just being circles and stuff like that. And they did take a lot of consideration to try and differentiate them in size, like height and width. They also have different scratches, and they did try and make Raphael's shell a little more bumpy, so like he's bigger and buffer compared to the rest of them. They all do wear these bandages and these plasters around their body, and I don't know why. I don't imagine they'll be getting into too much trouble in the sewers, but I really like this Raphael here. This one here looks really cool. Moving on to Leo, him wearing like shirt and shorts just looks a little off to me. I don't know, just them wearing human clothes just looks a little wrong. Especially in the early concept art, where they don't really have a style for them. They're just putting clothes on them. I think this is supposed to be Raph and Mikey. And then we have, like, Donnie, Raph, and Mikey here as well. I don't know. The heads look really small compared to their bodies, and they do look really goofy. Donatello looks creepy here. He just looks really long and lanky, and his fingers look like sausages. And then Raph looks like very unproportioned with his tiny arms and legs. I'm not trying to rip at this concept art. I'm just seeing like how different they have gone, and like how big of design changes that they've had, and like how what we have started with and what we have now. And I'm so grateful for what we have now, because it is the best design they could have chosen, in my opinion. I really like this Mikey concept art. It looks really cool. They're making him look really happy, cheerful. They're making him look like the goofy one and like the really happy one. And Seth Rogen did make this film, so I kind of see this Mikey right here being the stoner. He does look stoned. He looks high. Just look at that grin in those eyes. He's not all there. But I do wish they kept the skateboard on his shell. They did opt to make the shells a lot smaller, and not take up as much as their body, so they're sort of not leaning and hunched over. But all this is made by Maxi Memory Art on Instagram, so definitely go follow him, because he does all this art, and he worked on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem movie, and his art is just so cool. Just look at it here. Continuing with Donatello, I like the changes that they made. I don't like that he doesn't have anything on him. Since the 2014 movie, he has always had some form of tech on his head, on his shell. He has glasses. He always has something on his back. He always has tech gadgets somewhere. So I'm glad that they went with some actual tech and sort of fanny pack and other stuff on him. And I do agree Donatello is one of the turtles that would wear dungarees. Leo looks like the smart casual. Raph looks like a punk. Mikey just looks like the goofy nerd. And then Donnie just looks like the scared nerd. I like Mikey's tiger t-shirt here, and I like how realistic it looks. It's just so cool. And I like the flannel shirt that Raph wears. You cannot tell me that this second Mikey was not inspired by the Barbie movie. That second Mikey in the middle there is inspired by the Barbie movie. You cannot tell me otherwise. I like how they have kept their masks on. They have kept their masks on whilst they're wearing human clothes here, and it just looks cool. Moving on to the next set of concept art, it's from Murphish, and he spent a lot of time working on hands and how the hands would work. Just look at all these different hand poses, how they'd grasp stuff, how they'd hold the hands, how they're holding phones, how they're just sort of waving their hands around, and just looking at the, like, physiology of their hands. It just shows the thought process and the little details that just make sense. Obviously, just so cool. I think these 3 versions of April here look quite scary. They're very early drawings and very sketched, but I think they look quite scary. I don't know. Something about the eyes just puts me off on them. But moving on to these, which is April's facial expressions. It just shows how expressive that they're trying to make these characters. It is an animated film, so obviously everything's going to be a lot more expressive and facial movements are going to be more key and important. But I like April's design. Like, I'm glad they went with this one and not the original 3, which were rough sketches. I know they'd look a lot better if they finished them out, but those rough sketches, they were scary. Moving on to the rest of New York City here, this Murphish was tasked on filling up New York City with civilians, and I like the sort of different styles that they're using. We have triangles, some squares, some circles here being used for all these different types of people. We have some nerds, we have some jocks, some workers, some builders, police people. We have people from pretty much everywhere, from like high class, middle class, lower class. People like everywhere are here just filling New York City, and that SpongeBob's creepy as fuck. That was like a jump scare and a half. I did not expect to see that. That's a really creepy-ass SpongeBob. I know this film was supposed to be like the dirty and the grime and gross and disgusting looking, but they don't need to make it creepy, okay? That SpongeBob was not needed. The FBI were here and the police were here, but they didn't play that big of a part in the film. But it just shows how much effort and thought that they were putting in right at the start. It was such a passion project for these guys. They were putting so much effort in. There's doctors here. I don't even remember them going to a hospital or seeing doctors even in the film, but they thought about it, and that's what matters. And then here's Splinter, which is the final design for Splinter that we actually got, which is really cool. I like this Splinter design. He looks old and sad, and he's very expressive as well. But they took a look at a rat skull and how his skull would work in the sort of film. And I like that. That's the key details that matter. The key details that matter. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I hope you all enjoyed my new turtle logo. And other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. And bye-bye.